I'm not going to spend a lot of time setting up this program or talking about a lot of the details of the program. It's just TMI, I think, at this point in this lecture. I mostly want to get to what's done to track information on the internet. All right, so look, Choice Hotels, after, in addition to wanting to sell ads on the Wi-Fi login page, which in Hulu, as you saw a little bit ago, took a 15-second interstitial video with terrible creative and no offer, and a little banner ad. Got horrible results. The other thing Choice wanted to sell was to sell banner ads in its reservation confirmation emails. Okay, so if you booked directly on the Choice Hotels website, didn't go through Hotels.com or any of the other travel services, went right to Choice, they sent you pretty much immediately a reservation confirmation email. They sent out 4.5 million of these a month. 90% of those emails get opened and read, not surprisingly, because it's got your hotel reservation in it, right? So they wanted to sell a banner in it. I went to 800 Flowers where I had worked, still had a pretty good relationship, at least at that point. And, okay. So the idea was this is a sample reservation confirmation email, and 800 Flowers could, right before Mother's Day, and it's relevant for most people because most of us at some point or another have mothers. 800 Flowers was going to run a Mother's Day little banner down there with an offer, save 20%. Pretty good. Now, here's what I wanted to get into just a little bit with you guys, which is this is an actual paste and copy from some correspondence having to do with setting up the 1-800-Flowers.com campaign. And this is basically how the ads were tagged to make sure that activity, impressions, et cetera, were monitored correctly. Okay, so what would happen here is that if you look in the Excel chart, you know, on the bottom part of the page, and you look around the middle, you see the impression tag image, impression tag frame, impression tag JavaScript, click tag. So there are two kinds of little tags, and each tag is that text. It's that it's not text, it's a formula, it's code. So that code would get actually pasted on the original banner ad, which gets sent from 800 Flowers to Choice Hotels. So before Choice Hotels actually starts inserting that banner ad automatically in all 4.5 million emails a month, somebody has to do a few things to the ad. And what they have to do is they have to copy these lines of code and insert them into 1 pixel, which is a little tiny thing, you really can't even see it, on the banner. So physically, these little lines of code will live on the banners. And these tags are like little beacons, okay? So that if someone, as soon as they download the page, the email, okay, the entire email, that counts as an impression. And the little bit of code that's the impression tag blips and sends a signal back to the receiver that someone who got this email downloaded the page. And then if someone clicks on the banner, another little tag, the click tag, sends a little beacon saying, hey, somebody clicked on me. And so someone physically within Choice Hotels group needs to take this code from 800 Flowers and physically do this before the ad is inserted and started and put into the emails. Okay, so those are the things that are done to do the tracking. And what happened is 800 Flowers made a pay per order deal with Hive and Choice Hotels, and was willing to give a third of whatever revenues they sold from people that opened the emails and clicked the ad and actually bought something. 800 Flowers could track who those people were, and you can see some of the, on the right-hand side here of this Excel sheet, you see click-through revenue. There's one order, 85.58, one order on that particular day from all the impressions that went out. And the impressions are, let's see, for the one order, it's, 14, what is it, 142, hundreds of thousands of people are opening the emails, and I got one order for $85. Okay, so what you see is, as usual with Choice Hotels and Hive Group, unfortunately, was the client sells almost nothing. And the reason is that the ads were run at the bottom of the email. They were below you had to scroll down basically on the email to see the ad. Nobody scrolled down to see the ad. You just look at your information, you're done. Who cares what's at the bottom of the page? So the program was a failure and got canceled. But, and the whole thing did not, I could say, definitely did not help my relationship with 1-800-Flowers.com. Okay, so that's a little bit more about what's physically involved in doing all this tracking. It doesn't just happen by magic. Programmatic buying is a big new trend in the business. We've talked about the basic kinds of advertising now. Last one was emails. This is a trend, and what this is where computers basically do the negotiating and placing of ads all across the internet. Bigger sites, but mostly with smaller sites, that long tail we saw before with the affiliate programs. These people are desperate for any kind of business, and so agencies set up computer programs based on who the target audience is for their client, and this is how much they'll pay per 1,000 impressions, and or however they want to do it, and they press a button, and it's all set up automatically. And all these websites that are available for programmatic buying that will take the deal at that price per impression, the ad is then trafficked to them and runs, and impressions are calculated, and the websites are paid based on impressions or whatever it is, but it's all done automatically. And there's not a human being actually doing the buying, just setting up the computer software. And these are typically very, very low CPMs. I mean, you're not going to make much of anything on this. It's price-based, most of it. Now, you can get rogue ads. When Choice Hotels accepted programmatic buying, sometimes a rival hotel chain would show up on the Choice Wi-Fi check-in page, and that had to be monitored. Okay, just a little word to the wise there. And this is the increase in display advertising. Remember, that's banners, 2013 to 2019. So billions and billions of dollars are placed through programmatic now. It's really growing. It's a big factor. And by the way, other media are trying to do programmatic to match this. So they're trying to put their inventory in the digital sort of automatic buying platforms. And you'll see that Out of Home is working on it. And I know other forms, TV is working on it. Other forms are trying to match this. So once again, the internet is kind of setting the pace for other media to try to match programmatic video and how it's growing. Now, programmatic makes some of these other issues worse than they might be otherwise. These are some more of the issues in internet advertising. 50% of online traffic is bots. Whoa, how about that? And that's why when you're agreeing to things or signing up for websites or whatever it is, you need to do some of these silly things, typing the text or picking every picture with a bus in it, or clicking "I'm not a robot." They want to make sure that if you're doing something, that you're a human being. A little more information on bots. 15% of Twitter accounts are bots, driving 2/3 of the links on the site. Okay. And bots are used to do all kinds of kind of bad things. Okay. And one of the issues is with the internet is also click fraud. And competitors, for instance, you'll see here in the middle of this text, can intentionally click on ads to drive the marketing costs up for a rival. Okay, so bots can do the clicking, and that's click fraud. And there's also clickbait, which is content sort of like that "Where Are They Now" that we saw earlier for celebrities, that just cries out for you just to click on it, and then once you click, that's an impression, and the website gets paid, even though you have no interest in buying anything or no real interest in the content. And it's a lot of it happens in social media, and some of it with these would-be influencers. But bots, clickbait, click fraud are all enhanced by programmatic buying, where it's automatic and nobody's really keeping an eye on things as much as they should be. And another key issue on the internet, and I've touched on it already a little bit, is okay, we talk about clicks and buying and paying for clicks, and that there can be fakes there and problems there. It's not all real. The other issue is buying on impressions. And actually, as I've said before, once you download a page, any ad on that page, no matter the size, no matter where it's placed, gets credited with one impression. And in the case of the email campaign for 800 Flowers for Choice Hotels with a reservation confirmation email, the banner was way on the bottom. You couldn't see it when you opened the email. You had to scroll down. It still counted as an impression, even though nobody saw the ad. And with video, so here's the definition. Okay, so basically it just says when you download a page, it's an impression. Okay. It's an opportunity to see. And video impressions, this is mobile. We talked about this a little bit before. 2 seconds of the video running on your phone, it makes an impression. And we know because of that, this is back not to your phone, but for the internet, lots of sites will just force these videos to play, no matter what you do and whatever you do to get away from them. Or they'll do a countdown, 5, 3 seconds, whatever, and they'll get an impression once they get to 2 seconds if it's mobile. Ad blockers, that's another issue. And this is one of my favorite sites, the world's finest news source, theonion.com. Murder your hideous conscience by disabling your ad blocker. By whitelisting the Onion, you can bring a quick, merciful death to the last remaining vestiges of conscience lurking in the darkest recesses of your brain, forever silencing the anguished cry that echoes endlessly within your mind and haunts your every waking moment. The Onion needs to earn money to continue enriching my miserable life. The Onion needs to earn money to continue enriching my miserable life. Smother its hideous wailing. I've whitelisted. So I disable ad blocker for Onion because I love them so much. Now, because of some of these issues with measurement, particularly, advertisers, huge advertisers like Procter & Gamble, makers of Crest, makers of Tide, Ivory Liquid, Ivory Bar Soap, oh my God, Pampers, Cascade, I could go on and on and on, Swiffer. They had moved a big chunk of their ad budget to internet. Well, they moved it back to TV because they have a better sense that they're getting what they pay for. So be aware, yes, internet is king, but there are a couple of, flaws in the crown. Okay, I'm going to stop and we're going to push towards the finish soon.